we are going to change gears and we're going to move into funnels. Building funnels is something everybody has to do. And, you know, I've heard marketers, or I've heard different people say, well, you know, funnels are dead. They're not dead. Everybody's using funnels. And the question is not whether or not to use them. The question is, how do I build a better funnel? And how do I get it to my target market? And I can tell you this, okay? Your competitors are not doing this, okay? They're not. So if you do some of these things, you will be ahead of your competition. I'm telling you, I work with hundreds of technology providers, big and little, all over the world, and I know what they're doing. I know people have said to me, oh man, we need to do that, but they're not, okay? There's such a small percentage of people that are actually doing these things, and the ones who are doing it, and they've consistently done it. I mean, it takes time. You have to ramp up. You have to get your stuff out in front of traffic. It takes some work to do this. It's not an overnight thing. You don't just set it on your website and all of a sudden people flock to it. It doesn't work that way. But I'm going to show you how it does work tomorrow when we get into social media, blogs, and websites to show you how to get traffic into your lead magnets and how to drive that through to a phone call. This is so much easier, though, than picking up the phone and making millions of phone calls. Now, the problem is that this takes planning. And, you know, like I was on a call with several guys last week in the Security Sales Mastery Training Program talking about this, and they all agreed it is just easier to come into the office, pull up a list, and start dialing for dollars. Not that it works, but it just seems productive. It just seems, I just feel busy. I feel like I'm accomplishing something, and that is not the goal. The goal is to get real meetings. And if we can automate this process and push it out to thousands of people and cherry pick a few of the people who are ready to have a meeting and have it pretty much be automated, it's just a whole lot easier. But it takes some planning. It means that you have to set aside the phone and set aside your email for, you know, a few days and actually build something. And of course, you know, half of what I'm saying here is if you at least know what to build, you can get a help building it. But you should know what it looks like, so that when some guy comes along, because I know a lot of you have told me there's these marketing companies constantly calling me and they want to do SEO on my website. I got the same thing. Forget about SEO. All right. Did you hear that? Just forget about SEO. I'm not saying you don't need it. I'm saying it's not step one. There's no reason to drive people to your website if you don't have these things in place. They're just going to get there and leave. Okay. So there's no point in it. You need to build these things first, and then we can go find traffic, however we want to find it. So anyway, if somebody calls you up and says they want to do SEO stuff on your website, tell them to get lost for now, unless you've already got all this stuff built. Then you can try some things. All right, let's talk about using funnels to build your business. Module 2, and you know, hopefully you got your pen and your notebook out. We started here at 3:30. We're going to run till 5. It's 90 minutes, so we should end on time today. And I want to jump into some concepts here that, you know, may be familiar, require some work to build them, but it's not that big a deal. And there's tools out there today that make it, you know, very doable and very affordable, by the way, based on what we've seen return on investment wise. So funnel, what does that mean? It means I'm moving traffic, prospects, and clients. There's different kinds of funnels. Funnels that I build for clients look a little bit different than funnels that I build for cold prospects. Different, okay? People who joined this program, you came through a sort of campaign funnel. Okay, you probably know that already, but it's not deceptive. It's not like I'm trying to trick somebody into do something. I'm offering them value and I'm giving them more if they want it. Okay, that's what you're doing in a funnel. You're not trying to trick people. Now there are funnels out there that trick you, and I hate those. For instance, I hear people complain about those videos that promise to tell you exactly what to do about heart problems. You know, there's some medical guy out there that has these out there, like 20-minute videos, and we are going to show you exactly what to do. And then you get into the video, and it's very compelling, and you're waiting for the answer, and they never get to the answer, and it is aggravating. Don't do that, okay? That is just so annoying to watch 20 minutes of video and go, you know what? I don't know any more than I did know, except now I'm scared. That is not the way to do this, okay? That just leaves people angry. So don't do that, okay? What I'm trying to do here is move my prospects or clients from one state to another, okay? That's what That's what we're talking about. One state to another, from state A to state B. How do I move them? Okay. And not everybody's going to move. I'm not trying to move everybody. I'm trying to move those people who are ready to receive more value. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Now let's go back to our picture of funnels. It's the same picture you've already seen. So we're just trying to build on concepts that we've built, but we're trying to add some stuff to it. Okay. So we've got social media out there. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. This is me attracting traffic and trying to get it into my funnel. You've seen that I've added my Infusionsoft application down at the bottom on the left-hand side, because some funnels are built for traffic that I own, and other things are built for pure cold traffic. So when I look at LinkedIn and Facebook, that's traffic that I don't own for the most part. That's traffic that's just out there in the wild. Blog, those are people who are coming to my site, and they're actually, reading my content. They came across it either through a search or they're subscribed to my blog. That's traffic that I have some relationship with, but I don't own that. I don't control that traffic. And then the last group here on the bottom, that's traffic that I pretty much control. Those are people who came to my webinar, so I have their address. They came to my live event. I got their physical address. Maybe I'm mailing stuff to them, and they're in my Infusionsoft database or whatever CRM database you use. And so I have a little more control over those people, and some of those are clients. The difference being, somebody who's cold out there, they don't even know if they have a need. They don't know who I am. They don't have any trust with me or anything. And I need some way to give them these little micro commitments to build some trust. When I get down to my Infusionsoft database and I'm talking to people who already have some relationship with me, and I'm looking to give them an opportunity to upsell into something bigger program, peak performers, mastery coaching group, maybe a higher end training class like from vendor to advisor. Those are people that I have a relationship with. They already trust me. They're already paying me for something, and I'm just showing them some other things that might be helpful to them, and a certain percentage of those people are going to ascend into those other higher end offerings where they can get more value. That's what that's all about. So I was listening to a marketer, months ago, and he used this term, the dog whistle. And when I first heard it, I thought it was kind of funny. But as he used it more and more, I kind of warmed up to it and thought, that's actually a pretty good analogy. And what he said was, some whistles are built for certain types of dogs. And when I whistle out there with my dog whistle, nobody else hears it, but these particular dogs do hear it, and they come. And that's what my lead magnet should be like. I'm throwing it out there. I don't expect everybody to download. In fact, I don't want everybody to download it. I want to call out the people who actually are interested in this thing. And I want to drive those people through my funnel, and they're going to go along my funnel as long as they're interested. Okay? So most people will just convert right there in the magnet. Those names are going to go into my database, which allows me to market to those people more effectively over time. Some sort of drip campaign sequence is going to happen there. A percentage of those people are going to upsell, and they're going to invest time with me. Those people are more ripe to actually buy something, and those are people that I really am thinking I want to make a call to. So don't make the mistake of calling that first group. Just nurture that first group. Second group, those people do deserve a phone call. They actually spent time with you. They watched your video or whatever it is, and I would call those people. And if they go all the way to another upsell offer that's even bigger, let's say a live event or something like that, those people are really worth engaging with, because not only did they watch your video, but they actually left their office and came to a live event with you. Wow. That's really cool. So that's where we're going. And from there, we're looking to ascend. Okay. So I went all the way from cold interest, build trust, take them through some upsell steps. And some of those people are ready to ascend, and we call those people hyper buyers. They look at your stuff and they go, man, you can solve my problem. I need everything you do, and I definitely have clients who have done that, and I've done it. I've jumped into different coaching programs and stuff, and it's not bad. It's like I met somebody, or I came across somebody who I think really is a thought leader, and like, I'm ready to invest. Show me what you got. And if you actually have stuff that can help me, I'll buy it, because I want to grow. And I have found in my own experience that investing in the right stuff, the right training materials, the right coaching, the right consulting, just opens doors for me and allows me to head upstairs. Whereas when I'm just sitting in my office by myself trying to super think, what do I do next? It doesn't work as well. All right. And so we're kind of looking to segment our audience. Some interest, a fair amount of interest, super interested, hyper buyer. Okay, that's kind of what we're doing here. As we go through the funnel, different people drop off along the way, and those people are segmented in our list and give us a sense of how to continue to market to those people, to warm them up, to help them take advantage of where they are right now, instead of pushing everybody who opted in initially to try to be a hyper buyer. They're just not. And those people are going to run away from you as fast as possible when they figure out you're trying to sell them more stuff. I'm not trying to sell more stuff to them. I'm trying to identify those who want to buy more stuff. Okay, that's the difference. This is not a manipulation tactic. It's segmentation. That's what we're doing, okay? So the secret to building bigger business, okay, pay attention right here. Understanding how to move qualified leads into your funnel. Those are the people outside. Qualified leads, move them into the funnel, and then how to ascend them up the value ladder over time. And remember, people drop off along the way. You don't expect 100% of your opt-ins to go all the way up into hyperbuyer. They're not going to. You want 20%, okay? 20% ascend, 20% of those ascend, 20% of those ascend as we go up the value ladder, okay? So as we go through this funnel concept, bear in mind that your profitability is not so dependent on your profit, on your projects, or the products that you sell, the location you're in, the certifications you have, and that sort of thing. It's the value that you present and the way that you present that value so that people can actually see the value in it. It has a lot to do with your messaging, which is what marketing's all about. So again, we're not into manipulation here, but if we don't communicate our value in a way that can be really consumed by the buyer, they're not going to buy it. The funnel is built to help us communicate this. Okay, so I mentioned I use ClickFunnels. You don't have to use ClickFunnels. There's other products out there. Leadpages does this. You can do it in HubSpot. There's other products out there. Some cost more, some cost less. I just like this program. It's what I like. I've got people here that understand how to use ClickFunnels. We build funnels and so forth. Other people use other products, and that's fine. Okay. Question is it working for you? And do you have people that you trust who can help you put together the funnel and write the copy? That tends to be the big struggle out there is, how do I create a page that attracts people, looks good, has copy that does all these things? Okay, as I build my funnel, I'm thinking in terms of different types of funnels. I got cold traffic. I already talked about those, warm traffic and hot traffic. Okay, and so, that's going to play into different funnels. Right now, we're really talking about cold traffic for the most part. That's what I'm talking about, and mostly because we're looking for prospects. Okay, hot traffic are not prospects. Those are people who are already in my system, and I want to upsell those. And we talked a lot about that in From Vendor to Advisor. How do I move people up my ascension ladder? We have an execution plan on solution strategy. How do I ascend people up that ladder? We talk a lot about that in Vendor to Advisor. Today, we're talking mostly about cold traffic. How do I build my list? How do I get more qualified leads into my funnel? And how do I move them along the process? Okay. Now, just in theory, and we'll go through some different things that have to do with what a funnel, how it's built. The most important thing to consider is when I'm out there in the wild, I'm out there in social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, blog traffic even, people who visit your website, there's a state of mind. And we know what that state of mind largely is. For those who aren't looking for a product, the state of mind is generally, I'm worried about security, but I'm focused on my business. Okay, you'll see that in my newsletter this month on page 5, I think. And this is actually was interesting. There's a Wall Street Journal study published, and so I've summarized it, and I've put a little graph in my newsletter on page 5. And here's something interesting. Now this is CIO, but a lot of things could be said that are true about this as you come down to the small business owner as well. So if I were to ask you, is security top of mind? Most people would say yes, it is. Okay. Now here's a graph, and there's about 10 things on. There's 10 things on here. No, there's not. There's 9. There's 9 things on here that were studied in the world of the CIO. and ranked in terms of what are your priorities, okay? What are your priorities as a CIO is the question they're asking. And if you answered the question, is security top of mind, you're saying that's a huge priority. Now, if you look at the graph, you probably can't see the graph, but there's one bar that's super long here, the rest are short. That super long bar graph is what most people's number one go-to issue is that they're really dealing with right now. And it's not security. It is digital agenda. Now, if you've taken my Security Sales Mastery training program and you've been in coaching call number 1, you know we've profiled the CIO in that call. We go through a little exercise where we do that. And what we've said in there is that the number one thing that CIOs are working on right now is digital transformation, which is the same thing as digital agenda. And what that means is, how do I apply next-gen technology to building a more like an Amazon type company, building that cult following, that subscription model they have, the way that they have embraced their clients out there. They've also automated things with robots, and it's amazing how they've used technology to create this world that people now shop in that is just killing everybody else. Okay, that's the digital agenda. It's transformation, customer experience oriented, but also operational efficiency oriented, save money, cut costs, automate, and be closer to my client digitally. That's what this is all about, okay? That's number one, and it's like 3 times bigger than anything else. Now, if we come down to the next thing, it's still not security, it's data analytics, which is very similar to digital agenda. It's taking all the data that gets collected from IoT, from website traffic, from anything else that's happening in the company's world, and the data science, the analytics behind that to figure out what everybody's doing and how to better be in touch with what everybody's doing. That's what that is. And then the next thing on the list isn't security, it's innovation. So this is what the CIO is doing, right? Digital agenda is huge. Then way shorter than that is this data analysis thing, data science, and then innovation, and then security fourth. Now, what's more interesting than that is what happens after security. Nothing after security has anything to do with the CIO's job. So if you look at what the CIO's job core issues are, they're all bigger than security, than their security. Then there's a bunch of stuff under it like cultural awareness, globalization, other, you know, I mean, really. So the stuff that falls short of security is kind of meaningless. Now, I bring all that out because there's a mindset that exists in the person that you're trying to reach out there in cold traffic. They're somewhere, they're thinking about something, and what we need is some way to bring them into our funnel, and that's what we call a pre-frame. How do I get this person's brain ready to enter my funnel? And that's where my posts in LinkedIn, Facebook, blog, email campaign, hard copy campaign, whatever it is I send out there, has to be content that is built. And so tomorrow we're going to be talking about things like a sales letter, a sales video, and some of those things. And by the way, some of those things are so detailed or have so much science behind them that we really have to do a separate training class just on the content and flow. So we will. Okay, we can't cover all that in this 2-day thing. So today I'm giving you the tool set and the framework, but we still have to talk more about the content that goes into it and the science to help build that. So the pre-frame is, how do I get that person's brain ready to enter into my funnel so that when they get there, they go, yeah, I really want this, and they go forward. So you probably see some of my posts out there. I have a lot of blog posts. I have a lot of videos. And in there, I'm frequently mentioning my assessment template. And I'm constantly talking about the idea that without the assessment, without the right assessment, you can't actually build this business. So I'm building this pre-frame idea before they ever enter into my funnel that you really need an assessment. The typical one out there, the red light, green light, yellow light, stoplight thing, doesn't actually work. Nobody's actually reading these reports. Very few are converting, but I have one that converts. Okay, the pre-frame mindset is, I need an assessment. I need his assessment. How do I get it? Oh, here it is for free. Okay, I'm changing their mindset so that once they get in there, they go, wow, here it is. Whoa. And then once they download it, then I'm popping up with something else that says, hey, by the way, instead of trying to figure all this out, I've got this little execution plan. It's really inexpensive, $47. Click here, boom, you're in. Okay? And so I'm showing them the next thing I think they would want in order to bring them up. Okay? It's very simple. And again, we talked about segmenting the traffic, cold, hot, hyper buyer, and so forth. Your blog posts, your social media posts, all those things put your prospect in the state of mind, the pre-frame. That mindset has a lot to do with what they're going to do when they hit that landing page. That's what we're trying to accomplish here, okay? We need that person to be ready. And the places we're going to do that, as we've already mentioned, the blog, the Facebook, a webinar can do this. And, you know, there's other social media places, even hard copy and so forth, that would be used. And we'll talk a little bit about a sales letter tomorrow. But there's a formula that I've already talked a little bit about, and that is problem, agitation, solution. Okay, what does that mean? It means that when I write a sales letter, I can't just sit down and write the sales letter. I actually need a structure to it, just like a movie has a plot, just like a book has a plot. And by the way, there's not that many plots that work. If you've heard my training sequences and so forth, you know that I've talked about this before. There's like 6 Hollywood plots that actually work. And when you deviate from those plots, they don't work, okay? So one of them is this problem, agitation, solution plot, okay? What it means is if I hit my client, my prospect with a problem, there's not enough business out there. You're not getting enough prospects. Agitation. I know that you're making dozens of phone calls. It's grueling. Nobody's answering their phone. You're sending out dozens of emails, and you wonder, is anybody responding? Does anybody even get these emails? Like, you know, it is so frustrating. That's agitation. Solution. Did you know that there are campaigns you can put together that will break through some of that and actually reach people and increase conversion rates? Get over that 0.5%. Get up to 4, 5, 10% conversion. We have case studies that show that. Okay? That's the process that we're taking through the pre-frame to get somebody aggravated about the problem, remind them of the irritation, and then show them, hey, we have a solution to that. Your assessment doesn't convert. You do these assessments, they're hard to get, they're hard to sell. Even free ones are hard to sell. You got it on your website, nobody wants it. Hey, we have a way to get like 100% of your audience to agree to do an assessment in 1 hour. House in the cloud, right? It's a solution. Hey, we've got an assessment template that works. It converts a high percentage of the time. Not 20%, but like 50, 60, 70%. Do it like this, okay? We're giving an answer. And that's how we set up our pre-frame, so we bring people into this funnel with the mindset that they're going to actually solve this problem, okay? So we're focused here on this magnet in the middle, and that's where I'm driving people with this new pre-frame mindset, okay? I've dog whistled out there. I've called in people. Yeah, you have this problem. You're aggravated about this. You're interested in a solution. Here it is, and it's free. Download it now, okay? That's how the funnel works. It's pretty simple. Once they download it, I have sort of, in a sense, qualified my prospect at a certain level. Now, remember, they haven't done anything more than trade me their contact information. I don't have any evidence that they've spent any time with me, but at least I've extracted out of the masses the subpopulation that is interested in assessments, because they wouldn't download my assessment template if they just didn't care about it at all. All right, that's what I'm trying to do here. And that's why it makes sense to have some different lead magnets. I might have one on assessments for people who are interested in that. There might be people don't think they need an assessment. So I might come over here and have a 3-part training video program, which I do, and it has a different approach. I might have an ebook that has another approach. I've got my House in the Cloud book, because some people just like books, and it's advertised not as an assessment tool, but as a sales tool. Okay, I sell, yeah, I'm interested in security. I'd like to grow my sales. I'll read the book. But you know what? After you read the book, you're going to realize, hey, somehow this assessment thing is really important. He kept bringing that up. I have hopefully changed their mind. I've converted them to now thinking that assessment might be important, and now they might download my assessment template. So if you see how all this works, I'm coming at them from different angles, and at the end of the day, I am bringing everybody back to the same place. You need an assessment. Here's how you get them. Here's how you do them. Here's how you deliver them. If I can just get more people through that process, we can do the whole conversion blueprint and your business will grow. Okay, that's how it works. It's really, really pretty simple. So again, we have 2 upsells. We're asking for an investment of time or money in the first upsell, OTO, one-time offer. In the second one, we're asking for a bigger commitment. Okay, a phone call, for instance, consultation, even a live event. Any one of those things requires some personal interaction. If you try to get that personal interaction up front, you probably won't get it. It's too big an ask. So the sequence is important. It's part of the psychology. Something really quick, time investment. Okay, now I'm ready to spend time with you. And you know what? Not everybody's ready to spend time with you. So there has to be a nurture process that takes that person who didn't take the last step and draws them back so you can finally have a phone conversation with this person. And as we go through tomorrow, you'll see different ways to do that. Okay, it all takes some thought process. So what I've done here is I've summarized some of the things that could happen at each level. So at the pre-frame, remember that's out in the wild, that's cold traffic. It's not opt-in, it's ungated content, just like Alien Vault's top of the page, first page on their website offered the video. Okay, it could be a short video, but it could also be a pillar post. We'll talk about special blog posts that are built for this tomorrow. That's what a pillar post is. It could be a quiz, right? How secure are you right now? How ready are you for ransomware? People like quizzes. They like to, run through little tests. Can't be too long. It's got to be short. But if I can provide a quiz, some people like that. Some people will read an article. It's got to have a good headline. It's got to be written in copywriter fashion. Some people will respond to an email. Some people need a hard copy letter. And some people need to be hit with a bunch of different medias over time, and eventually they'll respond. And other people just will never care. So, that's what we're doing. Now, we bring them into our lead magnet. We talked about the chart. Remember, we had stuff that was hard to create, long to consume, stuff that was easy to create, short, easy to consume, that sort of thing. Templates, guides, checklists, a toolkit of some kind or some tool, an ebook. Any of those make good lead magnets. One-time offer upsell. Now I'm looking for something where they're going to engage me. I don't like ebooks at this stage of the game because I can't tell if they've engaged. I really like video. Video is something I can measure, and depending on what tools I'm using, I can tell whether or not they've actually done it or not. But I think the chances of them consuming video in a second tier part of the funnel is pretty high. So I use it. I think it's really good. Popular funnel that I'm using right now is to go from a simple download right into a pre-recorded video that all you have to do is hit play. No opt-in. You've already opted in. Opted in for the lead magnet. It's on its way to me. Page 2 pops up. Wait, we're sending it out. It'll take a couple of minutes. In the meantime, love for you to watch this video. Okay, it's going to help you understand what we're sending to you. How many people will watch that? Actually, a bunch will. They'll at least start. And if it's good, they'll continue. Then we can pop up after that the next thing, which actually should say OTO2, typo on the slide, and that's where I'm going to offer them something, a consultation call. I might go from consultation call to on-site meeting. I might offer them right up front on-site meeting. I might invite them to a live event. I typically would go to a consultation call first. Whether they took it or not, I would start marketing to them a live event or an on-site one-on-one meeting, like a briefing, security briefing or something like that. That's the process that I would go through. So you can see it takes some planning to do this. It's not coming in the morning and just dialing for dollars. But this upsell process takes somebody from cold, not interested, and allows them to engage with me without having to face me, which is important. I need for that person to have a way to engage and test the water without actually having to talk to me. Because you know what? They don't want to be sold. They don't want to be put into a position where you're asking them to do something and they're not ready to do it. Because it's hard. People don't like that. They don't like contention. And so they want to avoid that. They'd rather do something online. So this gives them free stuff and it kind of eases them in. Then they see you on video. Now they feel like they know you, but it's more like watching television. It's like you don't know them, but they know you. It's that kind of thing. I'm still safe. And now you offer me an opportunity to actually chat with you. And I'm like, you know what? I feel like I know you now. I've heard you. I've seen you. You look honest if you do, and so now I'm ready. I think I could take a call with you. Okay, I'll do that. or maybe I could even attend a live meeting with you. You actually sounded interesting. Okay, that's the process, and it's psychology, and it moves people from having their wall up to taking that wall down, willing to listen a little bit, to engage. Okay, that is the process. Now, if we look at our landing page, there's a couple of things that we put on our landing page that help us. This is a typical template. You'll see some of mine follow this to the T, and others don't exactly, but we're just looking for something that's going to help me get converted here. Okay, so in the middle, in the white, you see the big thing. It's the promise. I've got this little attention thing on the top. This is my dog whistle thing where I'm calling out a particular people group. I'm calling out directors. I'm calling out CIOs. In this case, I'm calling out small business owners. This is not my landing page. It was created by a very successful Facebook marketer that I know and have done some work with. And so I know that their stuff converts. So I'm using theirs as an example. And so they're calling out small business owners. That's their target market. And they created a very simple lead magnet, the 5 tools. I already told you about that. That's the promise, okay? Let me call you out. Here's what I'm going to give you. I'm going to promise to give you this tool set that actually works for you, and I'm going to promise results. And the results here, if you can't read it, says, do you want to save time and money? Get these tools now. And then the button, yes. Notice it doesn't just say download or opt in or buy something. It's more of a promise. It's a response. Yes, give me the tool set. I want it now. Save me a seat in your upcoming webinar. Whatever it is. It's a yeah, give it to me button. Okay, and then some T's and C's underneath, copyright, blah blah blah. Okay, very simple. And for your initial page, you don't need much more than this. You don't need a whole bunch of social proof. You don't need a whole bunch of text to explain what it is. It should be pretty evident. It should be pretty simple, and it's free, okay? And it should be pretty immediate, okay? Real simple kind of thing. And what do you do with this once you build it? Now you gotta drive traffic to it. So you can't just stick this on your website. You should stick it on your website, but you can't just stick it on your website. So if you look at my stuff, I'm getting lots of leads through my funnels, lots of them. And why? Because I'm putting it out on social media constantly. Every Facebook post that we put out has a little blurb under it that says, by the way, if you don't have our security risk assessment template, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Every video that I put out on YouTube, by the way, in the comment section, by the way, if you don't have my risk assessment template, on the signature of my email, by the way, if you don't have on my website, are you frustrated with your prospect's lack of response to urgent security issues? Click here, goes to my funnel. Okay, my funnel is everywhere that I am, everywhere. It's embedded in my blog posts, writing about why people don't respond and why sales meetings don't work, blah, 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 blah. And in there, you'll see probably 2 or 3 times. Sometimes it's in line, it's a hot link. Sometimes it's a button. By the way, do you have my blah, 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 right? It is everywhere. So you put that everywhere. Paid ads, we'll talk about that tomorrow. Is it worth paying money for ads? It is in some cases. And this sits behind that paid ad. Sending out postcards, I talked about my business card when I hand this thing out. It's got a QR code on it. Where do you think that QR code goes? It goes to my assessment. Here's a picture of my impact likelihood graph. That QR code goes right into the funnel that gets you a free assessment template. Okay, it's everywhere. Put it on your business card, QR code. Put it everywhere. Okay, and that's how you get this thing out. You don't need tons of these. You need, 2, 3, 5 at the most. But, start small, test the waters, get them out there, and put them everywhere. So that wherever anybody goes, you're always asking questions, you're always prompting people, and as soon as they click, they head into your landing page, and then you watch the metrics, and, you tweak them. If you're not converting, if you're getting lots of people to it, but they're not taking the offer, something's wrong. Either the headline's wrong, and it's not your lead magnet, by the way. Notice that. You can't see the lead magnet on this page. All it is a heading, 5 tools to create content that converts. That's their offer. Mine would be, a high conversion assessment template, risk assessment template. If it's not converting, it means your audience either isn't getting it, but if it's everywhere, they are getting it, in which case they don't like it. They don't want it. Okay, so you need something different. And that's why I said create something that's easy to create, it's quick to create, and you can change it easily. All right. Now, here's a simple formula to create a list. So you need more lists. And by the way, let me just make the comment. I know some of you in your database have hundreds, thousands of names. The question is, are they fresh? Will they receive your email? And one of the fastest ways to know that is to send out an offer like this to your list. Send out several offers and see what kind of response you get. Now, a good response, by the way, is about 14%. So we're not looking for 100% response from your database. But I would encourage you to be sending stuff out to your list on some regular basis so that people who don't want anything to do with you will opt out. If they get one email, they probably won't. If they get 2 emails every month, more people than you want might opt out. But the thing is, if people opt out, they're not going to buy anything from you anyway. So don't kid yourself and think, wow, I got 5,000 names on my list. You got 5,000 names that don't know you and don't care about you in your list, and that's not valuable. So we want to keep our list warm by sending stuff out to them, but we want to be adding people, and that's what this is. How do I add people to my list? Now, I'm going to use my blog. I'm going to use email blasts. I'm going to use social media like LinkedIn and Facebook. I might even pay for traffic in the future. And I'm going to drive that traffic to my landing page through different things, through different types of posts and articles and whatever. And my goal, the way this funnel is built right here, is I've got my lead magnet. Let's say it's 8 ways that your employees give data to hackers. Boom. OTO, video, interview. Okay, that's the easiest one you could possibly create, would be an interview, right? Just conduct an interview with somebody. You can do it with me. You can do it with somebody else. Just, get somebody to do an interview with you, record that thing in, Zoom or something like that, video recording, over the phone. You can do it, over the net, just do it like that. Save that thing as a YouTube video and put it into your funnel so that you download the thing. It goes to a video page. You click play. Yeah, I want to watch the video. And at a certain point, you pop up, and this is what we do. We pop up or go to another page, an offer to have a 15-minute consultation, maybe, 20 minutes into a 25-minute video. We might want to pop that up or at least notify the person that there's an opportunity. You can pop it up at the bottom of the page. You can pop it up over the video. You could take them to another page when the video is over. Do something that offers them the phone call. If they take the phone call, meaning that they fill out the little web form and says, yeah, I want the phone call, you schedule. If they don't, it should go into your database. We use Infusionsoft because it's easy to do this. So there are other technologies that will do this for you as well, but some won't. So you kind of need this. But if they don't take the call, you need a way to know. So this funnel better notify somebody that they did watch the video, but they did not take the phone call. And so now, what are you going to do? I need some kind of follow-up campaign, and I'm probably going to have somebody making calls to those people because they watched my video. Remember, I'm not calling them after they downloaded my little thing. It's after they watched the video. If they didn't watch the video, I'm probably going to put them into a different email sequence that says, hey, I noticed that you didn't watch my video, and here it is, And I might offer that to them a couple times, and if they don't, I actually have a funnel where if you don't watch my video, it's actually a webinar. If you don't attend my webinar, and it's pre-recorded, obviously, it sends you another webinar every month for 6 months. Every month you get invited to a brand new training, which is another webinar, okay, for 6 months. And I find that people sign up and then they don't show up. And the way my funnel is written is if you don't show up, it knows and it sends you another one. But if you do show up, it takes you out of that campaign. It's pretty cool. Okay, so we could build one of those for you too if you're interested, or get someone else to build it. But it's kind of neat because it goes for 6 months. So if you download my book for $1, if you buy my book for $1 and you don't do anything else with me, I'm going to be inviting you to a webinar for 6 months unless you unsubscribe. And you know what? 4, 5, 6 months into it, people finally attend the webinar, and then frequently they buy something. They sign up for my security class, which is what's offered in the webinar. Join the Security Sales Mastery Training Program. Okay? It's a funnel. And it's not, I'm not trying to trick anybody. I'm just trying to keep putting something in front of them. It's a little bit different each month until I get something that catches their eye and they go, hey, I think I do want that one. And they go, okay? And then they see it and they go, oh, hey, it's cool. They've invested time now, upsells them into the security program. Now they're in the security program. That gives me an opportunity to get on the phone with them and hopefully encourage them to get involved with us, get involved in the Insider Circle, get involved with peak performers, take this advanced training class. Okay, so I've taken cold traffic and I've worked them all the way up through these video sequences. So this simple funnel right here is just 3 steps. Lead magnet, simple pre-recorded, 30, 45, 60-minute video. It can be any length. Remember, they don't have to watch the whole thing. Pops up an offer to have a 15-minute consultation. They either take it or they don't, and there's a follow-up sequence through email. Anybody can build a funnel like this. It's very simple. Using technology like ClickFunnels or ClickFunnels itself, any one of those will do this very simply. Everybody ought to have one of these. This is so much more effective than that free assessment on the website. Okay, so get rid of that, replace it with this, and start building your list, and then push this thing out to everybody on LinkedIn, Facebook, anywhere you are, blog posts, website, email signature. Okay, and again, if you have any questions about that, pop them up on the screen here in the chat box. Happy to answer that, but it does work. Now, I want to dive a little bit more into Preframe here and talk about how this works. So this is a typical post right here that I used, and it goes to my lead magnet. So I'm showing you exactly what I do to drive people into this. So first, you'll see I've created a blog post, and you'll see that I have linked to an article from computerweekly.com. Okay, and this came to me through Flipboard. I came across an article one day on something interesting, cybersecurity, why you're doing it all wrong. Okay, I thought, okay, that's a cool headline. Why are we doing this all wrong? So I've written a blog post, and of course, I'm not just reposting somebody else's article. Don't do that. Some people have said you can do that. Don't do it. There's some people providing pre-curated content. It needs to have your commentary in it. So like when my team does this for somebody, we write commentary from them. All right, they've authorized us to, on their behalf, write a little blurb. We don't write a lot. You'll see it's pretty short here. But I'm reinforcing my message, protection, detection, response, a system that follows this sequence, right? That's security. I'm making this comment. It involves policies that govern how you view your data and what you do and don't allow, and training the people who create it. Okay, so I'm actually commenting on it, on what is right, because I'm the authority on it, right? I'm the expert, and you are too. When you're talking to your prospects, you're the security expert. So you're saying here what it is, and then I'm commenting and saying this article reinforces what I've been saying all along. All right, I'm peering myself with the outside experts out there that wrote this article, whoever that was. Okay, that's what I've done. My commentary is opinionated. Sometimes it's contrarian. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes I write, this guy is wrong. Here's what he says, but here's what's right. In this case, I'm saying this is the way it's supposed to be done, and like this guy says, everybody's doing it wrong. Okay, so it's contrarian against the population out there. And I'll get to that in a moment, Kevin. So I have that, and then I've got the link. The link puts the post into it, and then I've got the call to action, which is critical. Okay, remember, call to action on everything, and I put this on the end of every post, and somebody pointed out to me that it's good to put a couple of emojis on there because it draws people to it. Okay, and it does. You see those smile faces, and you kind of go right to it. There it is, free report download. Boom, where does that go? It goes to my landing page, of course, right? This is a typical post. I do lots of these. I recommend you do probably 1 or 2 of these per week in Facebook, LinkedIn, and then maybe we'll talk about blog posts in a moment. So somebody asked, what do I use to record my videos? I use my iPhone most of the time. And let me just mention, this is really cool. I got this little tripod. Hopefully you can see this in the little video down there. Okay, this guy is great. It's, how tall is this thing? Just a quick measure. It's about 12 inches tall. Okay, 12-inch tall. The legs bend. Okay, if you can see that. And the reason why that's cool is I can put it on the back of a chair so that it's face height. So I can sit on my couch. Whenever you see me sitting on my couch doing a video, that's what I'm doing. I have this tripod, which holds my phone. I'm not using a microphone. My room's quiet, and there's no echo sitting over there. I tested that. You want to make sure you don't have echo. And I just got this thing on the back of my chair, and I just sit on my couch, and I just record a video. Sometimes I do it outside. Sometimes I do it in the car. You'll see me doing car videos. I kind of like car videos because it's kind of like you're on the move. And I also do a lot of videos in my hotel room. I travel with my tripod, of course, and I like to do them in my hotel room. Recently, I've been pulling up, because a lot of these hotels now have the big screen TV, and you can access YouTube. So if you look at some of my more recent videos, you'll see there's a big screen behind me with YouTube up, and guess who's on the screen? Me. So it's kind of like I'm in a newsroom, and I've got, you know, a still shot because I paused the video with me speaking live or something like that. So that's kind of cool too. So I'm really just doing it like that. I don't do any editing on 90% of my videos. So sometimes I do have to do 1 or 2 takes. And the more you get used to it, the better you are. The important thing is just to script out what you're going to do. So I usually, remember, problem, agitation, solution. You'll see that in many of my videos. I'll come up with a problem. I'll agitate a little bit, talk about the solution. I try to keep it to about 5 minutes, and then I point you to where you need to go. And I don't write a big script. Some people need to. I don't. Some people use teleprompters. I don't do that either. But I usually do have 3 or 4 or 5 bullets on a notebook. And I have that notebook just sitting on the chair in front of me, got my tripod on the top of the chair, and I just go. All right, and then I upload it to YouTube. I make it unlisted, or sometimes I make it public, depending on what I'm doing with it. And then I put it where I want it to be. So get one of these things. This thing is made by, who's it made by? If I could read it. Arkon, A-R-K-O-N. I think it was like $15 on Amazon. So you go right to Amazon right now, Arkon, A-R-K-O-N. Order this little deal right here. It's got all kinds of little adjustments on it, including a level. Like I really need that. Really, I mean, this is like the best investment. It's super lightweight. I just pop it in my suitcase and take it wherever I go. I put it in my computer bag. It fits in my little tiny computer bag right on top. It's awesome. Get one of those. iPhone tripod. That's what I use. When I do have to edit video, and you'll see I have some other more sophisticated videos where you've got like, you know, other clips in there and annotations and stuff like that. I have probably, in most cases, still recorded on my iPhone, but I'm using a product called Camtasia. Camtasia is a fairly inexpensive, I can't remember how much it costs, but it's C-A-M, Tasia. Can't remember who makes Camtasia, but it's a good package. It's, you know, it's not high end. It's not like $1,000 type video editing package, and it's not complex. It's easy to use it. You know, it's not as cool as Freeframe or whatever that's called. You know, more expensive, complex type video programs, but it does a lot. So anyway, certainly worth checking out. All right, now my lead magnet, if you look at this, here I have put a picture of my tool, right? It's a tool that my audience needs. And my core message ties into this. I'm always telling people you cannot close business without an assessment. Okay, you hear I say that all the time. It's in my books, it's in my writings. What am I doing? I'm pre-framing my lead magnet, and my lead magnet leads into a whole course to what happens before you get to the assessment, what happens in the assessment, and what happens after the assessment. Okay? Now you have sort of the same thing. Protection, detection, response, the house in the cloud. I've built that for you, and if you're using that correctly, what you're doing is you are getting your audience to realize that as they go digital, that they are opening up holes and they have no idea really what's happening inside because they have no intelligence, no insight. They really need some kind of measure of impact likelihood. They need somebody to look inside their network and see what's been going on because they have no insight into that. They need someone to help them bring their risk down. That's remediation. And then you need somebody to maintain it forever. It's all still centered around the assessment process. And it's bringing them in to realize they need somebody to help them take a look. And then once you identify what it is to bring it down, you need somebody who can maintain it through protection, detection, response. And we know that 90% of the companies out there you call on don't have detection, and certainly don't have the talent inside to actually even look at those tools and that data to figure out what it even means. Okay, so that's what you're selling. That's where your value proposition is. And if you can bring people into your funnel with that mindset, and you can give them the tools, 9 ways to know if your mobile phone's been compromised. You see, it's the same message. And once you get in there, it's like, well, not only is your phone an issue, but you actually need to assess everything because you have no idea what's going on in here. So let us come in and assess it. Okay? It's the same message. It's the same process. My ebook that I give you, same thing. It talks all about digitalization megatrend, everything companies are trying to do to automate, and then it dives into this whole same thing about security is going to destroy your whole effort if you don't know what's going on inside. And if you don't know what's going on inside, you're going to be in trouble. So you need what? An assessment, okay? You're selling the same thing to your audience. And then, of course, I've given myself some authority here at the bottom, CISSP. And by the way, if you don't have your CISSP, if you're in Peak Performers, you've got me, okay? Because I have a CISSP. And so you're able to use that as an advisor in your company. We have CISSP input into our company from an advisory standpoint. So use that. You can interview other people who are industry experts, and those videos create more authority. Okay, the more you write, the more you peer yourself with other experts who are authors or thought leaders or whatever it is out there in video format or in written format, the more credibility you build, and it drives people to your tool knowing that, hey, people who are in touch with security are behind this. This is not a typical MSP company. That's what we're trying to do. Okay? Now, who am I calling out? This is a little snapshot from ClickFunnels, and this is the kind of information you get. At the time that I took this little snapshot, we were running at 59.58% conversion on our assessment. I mentioned earlier, last time I looked at it was at 67%, so it went up. It goes up and down day to day, but you can see that there's a fair amount of traffic coming into my funnel here. Got 1,800 people, went to the page. 1,200 were unique, meaning I had about, 600 or, 550 people revisited the page, and 59% of them eventually opted in. And then I had a 27% upsell from there, but a 97% upsell from there. Okay, so, all right, I feel pretty good about that. So I'm extracting out of the world these people, and I'm converting a high percent, which means that the places that I'm putting this is working. That's what I'm looking for. Is the traffic I'm presenting this to my target market? And am I presenting them with a tool that they care about? Now, it's funny, I mentioned I've created other lead magnets that didn't work as well. And when I created this one, I was talking to one of my clients who's been with me for, over 14 years. And I said, it's funny, I came across this one. I didn't really think this was going to be that hot of a seller, but it's like huge. And he said to me, I could have told you that. Like, man, why didn't I ask you, initially? So not a bad idea to just go to some of your best clients who really like you, been working with you for a long time, you have a close relationship with them, and just ask them, if I were going to put some free tools out there, what would it be? What would be the thing? And, the people who've been working with me for, 14 years, we're close enough that they want to help me. They want to see me continue to grow because I'm helping them. And if I go out of business, then I won't be here anymore. And they enjoyed working with me. They're still working with me. So you ask those people because they want you to be successful. They send you leads, they propagate your message. So you ask those people and find out, what is it? What should I make? Would this template work? Would this download work? Would people like this? And they'll tell you that. I don't think people care about that, but I think they care about this. That one's too long. Yeah, this is good. And get different opinions because everybody, remember, there's different readers. There's long copy readers. There's headline readers. There's video watchers. So, you can't just take one person and build your whole world on them, but they can give you one idea. You can use it. All right, now let's go to my page and see what happens there. So I showed you my Facebook ad. I showed you my landing page. Okay, now I'm going to take them to the upsell. So this is really important. This is page 2 of the funnel. Remember, we had our landing page and we said, hey, attention business owners or whatever it is, you need this thing, blah, blah, blah. In my case, it's the assessment template. Now you've done it. Okay, so now I'm going to upsell and I'm going to take you to my next my next step. So here's where people are going to bail out, right? Some percentage, 27%, took this next step. Now, by the way, one of the things that brought my thing down is I raised the price on this second page. It used to be $7, now it's $47. Why did I do that? Because I was getting so much traffic to this page, and I was getting a lot of people dropping out after $7, and my thought was, there's a lot of people who are not really my client target market that are willing to pay $7 just to get that execution plan, but I don't make money on $7. I don't want the $7 client. So I'm going to raise the price enough so that it's still a simple decision for somebody who really wants this, but for the person who's, doesn't really care, but $7 is no big deal, sure, I don't want that person. So that's what I did. I eliminated them. It brought my percent down, but the number of people that pass through that 27% are actually people I really do care about. And in other words, they're people that actually do want what I do. Okay, so you'll see a couple of things on this page. First of all, it's important that when you're in the sales prospecting process, remember, this person is not a lead yet. This person is a prospect, and they're still cold. All they did was download my stupid assessment template. I mean, it's not stupid, but they just downloaded a PDF. I don't even know if they looked at it. So again, that's where people are calling in too early. They're assuming, hey, they downloaded it, make a call. Don't make a call. They're not clients yet. They're not even prospects. But leave it open, and you'll see what my heading says here. And if I was consulting with you on a funnel, I'd tell you, this is what you do on page 2. Wait, you're almost done. In other words, don't close this page. It's not done. You're not finished, okay? Your report's on its way. While you're waiting, let me show you the fastest way to get started. So remember what I told you earlier. In the funnel process, what I want to do is present something to you that would be the next thing that you want. And what is the next thing you want? Well, you just downloaded my assessment template. It probably would be worth watching 4 minutes and 35 seconds of the guy who created it explaining what it is. And sure enough, 90% of this video is not selling anything. It's explaining what you just downloaded. So if you go to my funnel and you download it, you can watch this video for real. And you'll see I'm like, hey, congratulations, you got my assessment. We're putting it in email right now. It's going to take about 5 minutes to get to you. In the meantime, let me show you the fastest way to get started. Okay? And so I'm going to talk a little bit about why it's important, and then I'm going to point you to the risk assessment execution plan, introductory price, just $47, and tell you a little bit about that and encourage you, go ahead and purchase that. Go ahead and do that. And down below, I say, it's guaranteed. If for some reason you get this and it doesn't help you, we'll give you your money back, and we will. Okay. Now, in your case, you'd be doing something a little bit different, probably. You could try doing a $47 offer, or you could just have a video that they watch, and so you'd have something different. It'd be like, hey, wait, right, blah blah blah. Let me show you the fastest way to get started. Point back to the lead magnet. There were 9 ways to know if your cell phone. Let me tell you a little bit about why we did that. Everybody's got these mobile devices. Bring your own device. Nobody's watching them. Has corporate data. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then I would go into some things. Let me talk about security. Let me talk about security works. I might go into the house in the cloud. I might have an interview here. I might have something here that takes you into 30 minutes of stuff. Now, my video is 5 minutes because I'm selling you a product that is going to be time consuming. Once you buy it, I'm pretty sure you're going to go in there and you're going to look at the content. There's going to be videos, there's going to be diagrams, there's going to be stuff to read. You're going to spend some time with me if you buy this thing, because you're not going to spend $47 and do nothing with it. Well, you might, but I think at least half the people will do something with it. And of course, I got my authority, right, and social proof and things like that. So there's a little more data on this page because I'm asking you to do something. And even if it were just a 30-minute video, I'd have some stuff on here that would encourage you to hang with me for 30 minutes. Okay, it'd be a little more text on here. Now, once that's done, I'm going to go to the next step. Okay, so in this case, I'm upselling someone into my Insider Circle program, which is a hard sell. It's a subscription program. Subscription programs are hard to sell. Doesn't mean they're not valuable. I belong to 3 of them, okay? Ones that aren't mine, because I get a lot of value from them. But on the onset, it's always a question. Do I want a recurring bill? I don't know. I mean, it better be valuable if I'm going to have that. So I give this person an introductory offer, And of course, I started out again. All right, I'm leaving it open. Wait. Okay, we're almost, and the video does that too. It's like one more thing. Look, I got my Funnel Hacker T-shirt on, doing this. I wonder if that's probably not a mistake. Anyway, so in this thing, I'm doing the same thing. I'm looking back at the thing you just got, which is the execution plan, and I'm reselling the decision you just made to do that thing. Okay, now you don't have to use video in your funnel necessarily at this point, but if you're good on video, you should. If you're not, you shouldn't. You should use text until you get really good at video. But video is good because it's short. You know, you can see this video is like 2 minutes and some seconds long. So it's real short, and it's just a little short commercial, and most people are going to watch it if they get this far into the funnel. And it's a great way for them to get to know me early on in just 2 minutes and get a sense of, you know, do they like the way this guy sounds or not? Do I want to have a phone call with you is where you would be on this page. Okay? And again, if they take the phone call, great. It's going to be a smaller percentage that takes that phone call, but there's a nurture process for those who don't. And that's probably email with some embedded video, maybe a hard copy letter comes out to them, encouraging them to finally set up a phone call with you. Okay? That's what you're doing when you get to this stage in the funnel. All right? And here's the thought process. Okay? It's the sales conversion, ideal sales conversation. Okay? We talked about that quite a bit in some of the prior programs that I've done. The ideal sales conversation is when the client is ready or the prospect is ready to engage you because they actually have questions. They want to talk to you. So the not ideal sales conversation is when I call up and I say, hey, Bob, you know, we provide training and coaching or we provide MSP services and security. Let's come by, tell you a little bit about our company. And they're like, we don't need that right now. Okay? Not interested. When I go through a funnel, the conversation is completely different, especially if they've gone through stage 2, you know, OTO 1 and OTO 2. Since you downloaded my template and bought my execution plan and joined my insider circle, it seems like you're probably interested in growing your business, right? Right. Okay. So now I can have an ideal sales conversation, and it goes something like this, you know, instead of selling you more stuff, I can now get on the phone and I can find out why you did that. You know, what exactly are you trying to accomplish? I mean, you did 3 things with me. You know, what's on your mind? As you went through that, what ideas came up? Oh, well, we're trying to build this and we're trying to do that. Oh, okay. Yeah, I understand. So you're trying to do this, you're trying to do that. And I can get into a conversation with them, and eventually I can say, you know what, I'd love to come by, or maybe we could even just grab a bite to eat, or, you know, whatever seems right in the conversation there, to come by and have a conversation with them face to face. And now it's easy. Because, see, they've already invested in some of your stuff. They already know something about what you're about. They're somewhat interested because they opted into all this stuff. They spent time on it before they engage with you. And now it's easy. Now they have questions. You said something about protection, detection, and response, blah, blah, blah. You know, what exactly does that mean? What kind of things would we need to have? You know, you talked about, you know, whatever it is you talked about. And it leads into a natural conversation. This is so much easier than getting on the phone and trying to get somebody interested who's busy and sorry they picked the phone up when you called. Okay? I mean, I hope you see that. I'm sure you do. It's fairly obvious. The question is, how do I ever get to that point? And this is how you do it. You bring them through this funnel. And tomorrow, as we're talking about different media, you'll see that there's some video, there's some online stuff, but there's also some snail mail stuff. And all that stuff comes together to get somebody ready for this. But the cool thing is you can blast this out to thousands of people if you have thousands of addresses, email and physical. Blast it out. And you can do the dog whistle thing where you reel in 20, 30, 50, 100. You know, you don't have to call one-on-one, and you don't have to try to figure out who's interested, make 100 calls to find one person who's interested. This is all automated stuff. And once you get it up and running, it just runs. And you just tweak it, you know? And that's how we do our business. And it cuts down on how many salespeople have to be part of your thing. So one of the things that I do want to give you an opportunity to do is check out ClickFunnels. All you got to do is scan that code. I do resell ClickFunnels. You don't need to buy it from me. I'm not here to sell you stuff. You can buy it anywhere you want to. You can use lead pages. I don't care. I'm just putting this up here because it's easy, and I think you'll find Russell Brunson is the guy who started this company. I think you'll find his videos. This is why I use ClickFunnels, because when I saw Russell Brunson speak, it was more than a product. It was a guy with a vision. He had written books that showed me exactly how to conduct webinars that work. He wrote books on exactly how to put together email campaigns, how to put the copy into email that people would actually be interested in. And you know what? Some people hate this guy because he's young and he's kind of salesy, but he's got brilliant ideas, and he's aggregated. This is what I really like about him. He's pulled together ideas that you'll read in other books. You know, if you went out and read tons of books by, Brian Tracy and, I don't know, it's, spin selling and just anybody out there you can think of. Jeff Walker specializes in video marketing. He's gone out and he's studied all these guys, and he's actually put the how-to, as I mentioned, into his books, and he puts out videos on how to work these things. And he sent me books like 101 A/B tests. And so where he shows this funnel page worked, this one didn't. Here's why. And he's got 101 different examples. So it's like he's given me a library of all the things that work, all the things that don't work. And if you've ever seen his tagline, Funnel Hackers, I've got a Funnel Hacker t-shirt I had on in the last video page there. What that means is he goes out and he hacks funnels, not hacks cybercrime-wise, but he buys stuff. He goes through funnels, he analyzes them, he looks at the traffic, and he sees which funnels are producing, and then he studies why. So here's a guy who's out there. He's kind of like a think tank, like a research lab, who's dissecting what landing pages work, which ones don't, colors, shapes, layouts, number of pages, number of upsells. I mean, every aspect that you could think about. And I don't see anybody else out there offering the software, offering that kind of detail as to what to put into these funnels and how to create them in a simple, fast, easy way where you can just pump out a funnel in a few days and launch it, and then watch the metrics and tweak it. And of course, all the metrics are built into the program. So anyway, I would encourage you to check it out. Just scan the code. It's free to do it for 14 days. Make sure you cancel. I think they do send you an email though that tells you you're about to have to pay. They're really good about that, and it's easy to unsubscribe if you don't like it. But anyway, check it out. If you have questions about it, please let us know. It's definitely been a huge boost to our business and to a lot of businesses out there. All right, we have just 10 minutes left. And because we have 10 minutes left, I don't want to dive into the social media stuff because it just wouldn't be worth it. So what I do want to do is just give you a precursor to the kinds of things that we're going to be covering tomorrow so that you can kind of be ready for this. One of the things that I have done recently, which I think is important, is I've started to investigate and study, and I'll tell you that we know what we're doing. We've been doing this for a while, probably looking at this for over a year now. And that is paid advertising on Facebook. And so we're going to show you some things tomorrow about that, but I don't recommend that you really get into paid Facebook advertising until you have all this other stuff working for you. It's a later step. Spending money on online advertising, you can sink a lot of money into it. So I'd encourage you not to do that yet. However, one of the things that we did do, and we will show you how to do tomorrow, is how to get 10,000 likes, 10,000 followers on your business page. So in order to do that, you do need to have a business page. All right. So that means that if you don't have one, you should go to your personal Facebook account. By the way, my personal Facebook account, everything is private. Okay. I mean, you can see me online, but you can't really do anything with me. I have no friends. I'm not a Facebook person. I try to avoid that whole thing. However, it is a good business tool. And so I do use it for the private forum, as you know. I also belong to several other private forums because that's where they happen to be. I used to own forum software in the cloud called ForumBee, but nobody ever went to my forum. And why is that? Because nobody's going to go to another app. Okay, so I don't do that. It's in Facebook because that tends to be where most people are. A few people have told me we don't use Facebook, so I'm not going to be in your group, and I've encouraged them to just set yourself up a personal page and join me in the group, and just lock everything down and don't have any friends. I mean, nobody can do anything with that. But in order to advertise and get likes, you do have to put a credit card number in there. So let me tell you why likes are important. Not because you're going to generate any business. When you get 10,000 likes, they're not 10,000 people that you could possibly sell to. They're just 10,000 people in the world somewhere who I can get cheaply to follow my page. That's what we're doing. So it's a little secret between you and me. Everybody out there doesn't know that. But why that's important is when somebody who's a prospect comes to my business page and sees that I have 5 followers, it looks kind of stupid. And it does. So if you've got a business page out there, joescomputing.com or whatever, and they go to your page and you got 5 followers or 60 followers, it just kind of looks silly. But when they go, whoa, this guy has 10, 15, I got 15,000 followers, it's like social proof. Like, wow, this guy looks pretty popular, so I do want to check that out. So we're going to show you on the Facebook page where you can put your lead magnets, how you can encourage people to download your lead magnets, and all this is free, but I am going to show you how to get likes, and it costs probably somewhere in the neighborhood of $200 to get 10,000 likes, okay? So if you're interested in doing that, I will show you that tomorrow, but I would encourage you to go to Ads Manager, Facebook.com/Ads Manager, and set up your Ads Manager account, which basically means putting in your contact information, your credit card, and, of course, it's absolutely secure. Just kidding. Luckily, credit cards are protected by, Visa and MasterCard or whatever. But I will show you how to do it. And if you don't want to do it right now, the instructions will be there. You can jot them down. They'll be in the video, and we'll post them as well, of course, in the training material, probably in a bulletized format, so you can always access them later. But it's real simple to do, and I will show you exactly how we do it. I did it with my daughter the other day, and she went to 10,000 likes in just a few days, and she's got a little product business online. She did that, so really, really cool.